Okay. So the brothers see that Yaakov loves Yosef so much, but you see something very deep. This is something that we learn, a quality that we have. Whatever was in their heart was in their mouth. You know, like by Americans, so Americans say about Israelis, like I heard this a lot. They're very like straight up, very forward. Like they say like very, you know. Some people like they think one thing, but that's in their heart. But in their mouth, they're very nice to you. Oh, good morning, how are you? It's like, what's in their heart? You have no idea. Some people, you see them, the way it is, that's how they are. They like you, good morning, you know, it's a good day. If they don't like you, they yell at you. Straight up. It's a very big milah. To be a chad balev, and to be a chad b'tov. That your heart and your mouth are in the same place. So we say over here, the brothers, they didn't like him, and they didn't talk to him. Like they showed exactly their heart. Their emotions were very... This is also a sign, I think, is a sign of truth. Because sometimes you can have two people, you know, everyone thinks differently. But when a person is in a place of truth, then their mouth and their heart are in the same place. That means that they were very, very, very real about where they were. It's not like when you're so sure about something, then you're sure about it to the point that it's like your mouth. It's like you're sure about it. So now, in the Pshat we learned that Yosef was telling them dreams, but we see really that he was telling them deep techacha in the dreams. He says, this is what the Nevi'im are going to be telling you guys. Shim'una et asher Hashem omer. He's telling them, he's saying, Shimuna, listen to these dreams that I had. He's telling them, Shimuna. But he was saying Shimuna, he's not saying about myself. He's saying the Nevi'im for years are going to be telling you guys, Shimuna. Listen. He says, you guys are gathering fruit and I'm gathering fruit. Your fruit rots and my fruit stands. הנה כמה אלומתי, אמר רב לוי רב אחא, בני ואמר, עתידים אתם לעשות אילמים לפני הגליו של ירבעם. So Yeravam ben Nevat, we learned this a couple of weeks ago, Yeravam, we did it a couple months ago, exactly a month ago, it was the Yom Tov of Tesvav Cheshvan, was the Yom Tov of Yeravam ben Nevat. We learned that Yeravam ben Nevat was the king at the time of the splitting of the kingdom between the kingdom of Yehuda and Israel. Shlomo HaMelech, after Shlomo HaMelech, the kingdom of Am Yisrael was split into two kingdoms, Rechavam and Yeravam. And Yeravam was the king over the rest of the Shvatim, and Rechavam was the king over Yehuda, over Melech. And Yeravam and Nevat did not want the Yidden to go up to Yerushalayim, because if they all went to Yerushalayim to go up to the Beis HaMikdash, then everyone's going to go back to Yehuda. So he made two calves, two agolim, one in Dan and one in Beersheba, and he said, Ele Elohecha Yisrael, and they on Bethel, and So he was from Yosef. Yerovam and Nevat was from Shevet Yosef. Yosef was telling them already, you guys are going to do, before my ancestors, my kids are going to do a golem, Yerovam and Nevat, you guys are going to already do the Egel in the Midbar, Ele Elohecha Yisrael. That means that, you see that the Nevi'im, we have that the Avos, Hashem showed them not just like their life. You see in their discussions, they're discussing things already like in the future.
It's not like Yosef's excluded from that.
Right. Good. It's a good point. He was also on the Egel.
Yeah, he was. The Nevi'im were prophesying against him too.
Me'achuz. But I guess he was saying this to them as like the first Navi that's like speaking to the nation. If we never had the Nevuas at that time where like, okay, Hashem is speaking, but like within Am Yisrael already discussing like the future politics of us and how we're gonna. This is the beginning of it. Joseph and his brothers is a beginning of an era. It's the beginning of a nation of Am Yisrael. Then I was Avos. And this is the beginning of this nation. And the nation is the struggle of the nation of the brothers with each other. This is really the struggle that we're in. The struggle of Joseph and his brothers. The struggle of Ben Adam L'Chaviro. Looking for the brothers. What do we learn, Maishala? We learn that no matter what your brother dreams, if you have a brother that's dreaming, respect his dreams. You never know what another year dreams. You never know. If you look at it, Yosef in himself was like amazed by his dreams. Like seeing his father and his mother like bowing down to him. It was very deep. Figuring out like what's happening. And, like we learn it so we know, we look back, but like imagine it as it's happening. Youngest brother, one of the youngest brothers, suddenly having these deep messages of kingship in the family. When Yehuda was the king, it's clear. Yehuda was a natural king. When was he appointed to be king? What made Yehuda the fourth son? Like what's the right? Right? I don't know. That was the whole attitude of Tamar. That was his whole attitude of David HaMelech, the ability to admit, to be humble. Those are the qualities of greatness that brought. Yehuda was the first king of Yehuda. Of the first king of Beis David was Yehuda. And the main quality that brought him his name, which was named Yud Kei Vav Kei, is in his name. So Hashem Mamash put his name in his name full, Yud Kei Vav Kei, straight.
Why?
And all of us are called Yehudim. We're all called Yehudim because of this deep quality that he had. And this deep quality that he has comes from Leah, Pam Odeh Hashem, this inyan of Hoda'ah, of being the fourth, which is the inyan of David. David is the fourth also. Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, David being the fourth. The fourth is being a certain aspect that completes the whole unit, completes the whole revelation. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the whole revelation. It's interesting to see, to learn a little bit about how did the kingship of Yehuda, like when did that happen, or how did that happen? Because it seems to be like the most organic thing. Like it was never appointed, or just is. You know what I'm saying? When did Yehuda become a king?
Even before the kings, you see, he was always the most prominent one.
Yeah.
First, he was the largest. He was at the head. He was
also even see later on in the Gemara. Let's see what the story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Yehuda is always called Rosh HaMedabrim B'Kol Makom. Yehuda is it's a name of leadership. It's the essence of leadership that Hashem gives. And this is unlike in the secular world where strength is like machoism, muscles and guns and the ability to be tough. Our heroes, which start from Yehuda really is the beginning of all the heroes, is the ability to admit, the ability to be soft. How soft could you be? How vulnerable could you be? How flexible could you be? That's the strength. That's Yehuda. Ultimate vulnerability, ultimate. And you see the life of David HaMelech also. Ultimate. That's the real strength of the quality of kingship.
I would ask, what's the deeper relationship between Yehuda and Yosef, but that would take up too much time.
So Yehuda and Yosef is clear. We have two Mashiachim. We have two Mashiachim and two Mashiachim David and Mashiach ben Yosef. That you're going to see in 2 weeks in Parashat Vayigash Elav Yehuda, where Yehuda approaches Yosef head on, and you see that Yehuda really takes responsibility for Binyamin, for the brothers. He really Over there, the Zohar speaks about, that's the Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef, those. That's the inyan of Vedi Shor v'Chamor, when Yaakov Avinu comes back from Lavan and he sends Esav a message, he sends a very specific message. He tells him, in the message I have Shor v'Chamor, I have an ox and I have a donkey. You have millions. Ox and donkey is not talking about. It's talking about Shor is Mashiach ben Yosef and Chamor is Mashiach ben David. He's telling him, I already have all the strengths that are needed. I'm developed. Yeah, Yosef was born, Yehuda was born, Shor v'Chamor. And that's why the Erev Rav, that's the time before Mashiach, is the Erev Rav is called Erev Rav, the Nishanot in the world of Erev Rav, and that's from mixing the irbuv, the mixing of the shor and the chamor, because we know that we're not allowed to plow with two animals together. This is called kilayim, is aser. That means that when I take a shor, when I take this koyach called shor, an ox, and I take a chamor, so in Shemayim these things symbolize two different things legamra. And when I mix them together, it causes an effect that's not wanted in the world. It's not godly, not infinite. And the Erev Rav, they're dafka these inyanim of mixing the shor v'chamor, mixing all these inyanim. That's the time before Mashiach.
What do you mean the time before Mashiach? What is the Erev Rav do with that?
The same way in Galut Mitzrayim, we see that when Moshe Rabbeinu came to take out, there was Erev Rav Alayim that we're always going to learn the final Geula, this Geula from the Geulas Mitzrayim.
Right.
We see that the Erev Rav was a very, very big part in Geulas Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu took them out, but that the Midrashim say that Moshe Rabbeinu went in and he saw, that the Mitzrayim were putting babies instead of stones. Imagine you're building a wall, and instead of a stone, you put a child. Imagine the cruelty. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes and he sees this, and he says, Hashem, what's happening? Hashem knows what he's doing. He says, okay, you want to take one of these babies out? Take them out. He takes one of the babies out, and that was the baby that's seeing all these neshamas that had to go through these things. But all these neshamas cause a lot of tzaras from Israel. And they very big secrets in them. The pain that they causes the speeding up of the Geula.
So who's the Erev Rav now? What pain are they causing?
The Erev Rav are parts of Am Yisrael that are not, in a deep way, not really genuine. They're doing things for selfish reasons, not for the purpose of Hashem Yisrael. It's a deep sugya. I brought a lot in the Zohar, a lot. The Gaon Vilna speaks about this a lot before Mashiach, a lot. It's brought out a lot. If you want to look it up in the Zohar in Parashat Bereshit, Daf Chaf Hei. It's brought out in many places in the Zohar, but there's one place that the Zohar discusses in the beginning of Bereshit. You can see there's 5 types of Amalek, 5 types of Erev Rav, and discusses who they are. What was that? Over there it says that even if a person it could be people that seem to be externally like doing everything right, but everything's for selfish reason. It's not to advertise the name of Hashem. It's for their own thing. If a person wants to have a nice big yeshiva, a nice big shul, so he could feel good, so his name could be big, so he could be famous, so he could be this.
He's still doing good though.
The what?
He's still doing good though.
Why is that good?
If somebody creates a yeshiva, let's say, and he does it for selfish reasons, still people coming there to learn, he's still helping both of them.
It's not so simple.
But at the end of the day, he's doing good.
It's not so simple.
So what, all these mitzvahs that he's getting don't count because
Hashem, only Hashem knows. A person could be sitting with talis and tefillin all day and he's going to Gehenna every second of his life. Learning
What?
Torah. A person could be sitting with talis and tefillin and learning Torah all day and he's a ben Gehenna. Nothing to do with spirituality and holiness. Hashem knows in the heart. Hashem knows we see the outside. Hashem yireh levav.
Right.
But there's concepts that are called
It doesn't have to be a bad person.
We're not judging anyone.
If he wants kavod, doesn't mean he's a bad person.
If a person wants covered,
He wants kavod, but he's still doing good stuff.
okay, so he's just running after covered, no? He's covered. He's not doing anything. What's he doing that's admirable? What does he deserve credit for?
If he helps people,
But what's his motive? I'm saying you're right. We're humans. So I'm saying you're right. But Hashem is looking in your heart and saying, okay, what did you do now? Why are you doing this? What are you doing? I understand that, yes. Okay, so there's the yana of helping people. Is helping people, even if a person helps for the wrong reason, it's still helping a person. A person gives tzedakah, even if it's for the wrong, it's still tzedakah. Even if a person loses money and the ani finds it, it's tzedakah. But if you want to know intentionally what's the right thing, and there's not only that, there's people it's not just about helping, Look at David HaMelech. David HaMelech. You have the closest circle to David HaMelech that are Enam Chilek L'Olam Haba. People that were closest to David HaMelech, closest that was to walk with him in the Beis HaMikdash, the Bet Elohim Yalech Beregesh in the Mishkan. That Enam Chilek L'Olam Haba. Doag v'Achitofel. למה שתורתם מהשפה ולחוץ. Because they're...
Who in Achitofel?
Doag in Achitofel.
What did he do?
Because their Torah was from the lip and out. It wasn't inner Torah. They weren't connected to Hashem. They were connected. They were saying all the right things and doing all the right things, but it was because of selfish, egotistical reasons, just for their ego, or for their respect, or for the benefit that they were getting. But
Because suddenly they turn against them and turn into monsters.
yeah, because when it's not real, if the person doesn't get it, then they just commit suicide.
I understand all this. I'm just trying to connect the Erev Rav with this. And what does it mean that a person who's like this is Erev Rav rather than just a natural human being who is born with these things?
This Erev Rav is a well, we could look at it right now more like a mentality, not like trying to identify like who is what. That's not our agenda to go in the world, and that's Eliyahu Navi when it comes to identify who's who and what's what. But our avodah is to understand the avodah of Erev Rav, what that is spiritually, and to be aware, because this is a sign of the generation. That means that we're also tested by it. It doesn't mean it's like everyone is being tested by the Erev Rav test, and that's being not being l'shem shamayim.
So it doesn't mean that a certain person is like descended from the Erev Rav. It just means that Erev Rav is like a spiritual force that's within us.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm sure there's also that also. But that's not for us to identify. Meaning we're not looking there even. Because if a person descended from an Erev Rav or from a mamzer or whatever it is, it's for Hashem to clean up his vineyard, not for us. Hashem brings diseases to the world every couple of years and kills mamzerim, and Hashem has his cheshbainas of how he sifts, how he cleans the world. Right? There's a field, and in the field grow neshamas. It's fields, and there's tzaddikim that become the owners of the fields. There's the whole situation.
But the Erev Rav that we're referring to is just the spiritual force.
When we learn Torah, you could look at the Torah as chronologically what happened or scientifically what happened. We try to look at it with their avodah always to see what's the avodat Hashem that we could see from this. Not to say, oh, there's Erev Rav, so I'm going to put on pachkavilim against him and go against him. That's not the avodah. As I said, this is an Erev Rav. What is the neshama? What's the avodah of the Erev Rav? Legarmayu. That you're doing things for selfish reasons, for yourself. Ask yourself this question. When you act, what are you inspired by? What are you driven by? And make sure to be driven by Chachamim, by the Torah, by Hashem, by what you believe is the right thing, not by yourself. And right. And the real sign is, first of all, when you do things that are difficult for you. But the real sign is Avat Israel. The real sign always to test yourself in everything is the love of Yidden.
That's exactly what I got thrown off by. Because
what?
now I'm thinking that maybe some of them are Erev Rav and they're not actually true. And am I supposed to love them? Or are they actually?
But I'm still saying, don't look at that. Don't look at people saying, is this person Erev Rav or not?
Right, but that's what I mean. Is there even such a concept that people in our nation are not actually?
So that's what I'm saying. It's better to understand it more like a concept. Let's look at it like, I don't want to, not me, not about you. First of all, my attitude to you should be that you're a Gevald and you're holy and you're special. If they understand general attitude in life, Chidush Aram writes this. He writes that he writes every city needs chassidus. Every city needs chassidus. You hear Chaim? He says every city needs chassidus. He says 2 chassidim is way too much. 2 chassidim. 1 chassid is too little. So every town needs a chassid and a half. Who's the chassid and a half? I'm the half a chassid and you're the chassid. That's my attitude towards anyone. When you look at another person, if you're looking at, but the tzaddikim, they say, if I'm looking at another person's chasroinus at that time, I'm doing the biggest fault, because why am I not looking at my chasroinus at that time? Like, I'm okay? I have time to look at your chasroinus? So if I'm watching up from Erev Rav, I should to avoid this of the Erev Rav, to make sure that the reason that what's driving me from my core is L'Shem Shamayim, is the relationship with Hashem, Yud Kevav Ket, my understanding. That I'm L'Shem Kol Yisrael, that I'm connecting to my nation, to my brothers, to my sisters, to Yerushalayim, to Malchut Shamayim. So I'm doing this from a real place. Whereas the person can sometimes say, wait, I'm, something, and where is it coming from inside myself? Is it pure? Is it really pure? Or maybe not. I'm also human. Maybe there's an Erev Rav, maybe there's Irbuv, maybe there's a mixture, maybe it's not pure, maybe there's selfishness involved. Maybe this great spiritual thing that I'm talking about is really selfishness. It's not always spirituality.
I don't know if you remember, but when we spoke before I came here, this is one of the things that was bothering me.
Which point exactly is?
How you cannot be Erev Rav.
And what are you understanding now? What I think that what could be a point that is to less focus on other people's, identifying other people as Erev or not. That shouldn't be our mission. Our mission should be identifying in our behavior in my day, not allowing Erev Rav behavior in myself. Right, the Gemara, the Zohar says that people stand in Rosh Hashanah and they scream, Hav, give me. Hav, keklavim, like dogs. Also dogs, they say Hav, rough. In English, dogs say rough, and in American, they say Hav.
Isn't now Hashem created us with a lacking so that we can praise Him, fill up?
100%. But when the fashot avodah chesrona, 100%. It's be L'Shem Shamayim. You're doing it because it's L'Shem Shamayim, because you understand that Hashem gave us chesroinus in order to connect to Him, to understand that He's the makor, that we should want His light to fill the vessels. You're right. He gave us broken vessels, empty vessels, only to turn to Him.
So that's the only reason that we connect to Hashem, through this emptiness, through this lacking, as opposed to just completely unselfish. That's a certain element.
Right, but there's a person that's not connected to that on that level. He just wants his extras. He wants his fantasies. So he says, "Okay, I'm davening. So Hashem, give me my everything that I want. Give me." A person saying "give me" should sound amazing. He's davening to Hashem. Why are you calling him a dog? He's taking Rosh Hashanah with the stylus, Hav, give me, barking rough.
That barking is appreciated.
Where is it stemming from? You're saying you want Am Yisrael. Are you barking for your neighbor also? You're only barking for yourself. You understand what I'm saying? If you want Am Yisrael, if you want Nishmat Yisrael, Knesset Yisrael, the Jewish entity, to have a successful year, a connection with its creator, connection with each other, that's a proper thing to be asking. Of course, that's the creator of the world. Who else? Stand in front of him in Rosh Hashanah and say, Master of the world, you're creating the world today. Take your holy nation, the nation that's supposed to reveal godliness in the world. Bless them, heal them, protect them, guide them, raise them. Of course, it's amazing. The more, the better. That's not have. That's not selfish. That's the opposite. That's selfless. That you're standing as a shliach tzibur. You're davening for your nation. It's beautiful. Hav is selfish. My job, my this, me, I. So you see, a person could be standing in. It's a pashut. The avodas of Erev is not simple. It's a thin avodah. It has to do with yourself. So in the world today, the world is more. Yeah.
If you want something, what else should you do? Pray to God for that.
Of course you should. Always on. Of course you should. You should identify
What
inside
do you
yourself
want, I think?
what is it that you want, or who is it inside of your that wants it. In the center fall?
Kind of. It's just interesting. The whole.
Let's say right now you're hungry,
Yeah.
right? You're hungry. So it's Gavad. You're saying I'm hungry. You created the world. You create the world. You create the food. And okay, but who inside of you? What are you saying? Like I need food. Why? Because I'm just hungry. That's also a valid request. Also when an animal is crying to God, it's right. But obviously, it's be a deeper place. You understand? I'm Israel. I'm here to eat, to serve Hashem. To also when a person eats, simple kavanot achila. You're just eating a sandwich. You could think I'm eating to keep my reality strong, to have energy to serve Hashem, and your whole food becomes a korban. It's a korban. It's different. It's not food. That means that your intention, just where you are. You're right. If you eat, it's not selfish. I can't say you're a horrible person for eating, but how did you eat, or who inside of you ate? Understand? Is it just the body and the selfish that ate, or is it the essence inside of you that ate? If it's the essence that ate, that's great.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Are you feeding your body or your soul?
And that's why I always say that the test is going to be with other people, because with Abat Yisrael, if it's the soul that you care about, then aren't you soul? He said, once you identify another team member, same team. If it's you that you're connected to, then you're never going to be saying, okay, you may be nicer to him because of the mitzvah, but it's at the end you're connected to yourself. You're not connected to the essence, to the team. Knesset Yisrael. Okay, I'll do one more small point. Okay, a lot of dreams in this week's parsha, and the truth is all these. The Gemara says, "Kol hachalamot olchim achar hapeh." All the dreams go upon interpretation. You have a dream. You wake up in the morning. What should you do?
First thing, think of Hashem.
What should you do?
First thing on your mind, think of Hashem.
Think of Hashem. But what did you do as far as the dream? You had a dream. What do you do with this dream? You go, first of all, that day. You should interpret it that day. And you should go to a person that loves you very much. Because the rule of dreams is kol hachalamot olchim achar hapeh. All dreams go based on interpretation. So whatever I interpret for you, whatever you interpret, that's obviously the interpretation has to interpret the dream. Like the dream is like a riddle, and you're giving suggesting the answer to the riddle, right? You come to me with a dream. What's your dream? You walk in. Wow, I had a dream. I was dead. What is a dream? It's a riddle. You don't know what this is. You had this. It's a question for you. And I wasn't there. I didn't see anything. And I tell you the answer to your riddle. This is a very deep secret. So you have to go to your friend. It's very important to go to your friend because the way a person the dream, the Gemara asks the Zohar asks this, is a dream like a letter that wasn't read? Meaning, let's say right now I send you a letter, then I'm going to come visit you in a month. And you didn't check the post office that week. You just didn't check your mail. Will I still come in a month? Yeah. You just won't know. I sent you a letter. And the letter, what says in the letter is what says in the letter. Whether you read it or didn't read it, it doesn't make a difference. Or is a dream based on their interpretation? Meaning, if you don't interpret a dream, nothing will happen. That was the question they asked him in the Zohar. And the answer is that obviously if you don't answer at all, you don't interpret, that thing will happen. But interpretation, if it's interpreted at the right time, actually that takes that thing and makes the interpretation becomes that thing. Because the dream was revealed to you not yet as it was shown to you early, not yet as a final reality. It was shown to you like in a half-cooked, so to speak, like stage of what's happening to you. And the words are the final decision of that. That's how it's going to be. So it's very important when a person comes to this with chalom to say chalom tov chazita. Chalma tava chazita. There's very big secrets in this, because the letters chet and tet, very big secrets in this in the Zohar. But to say the words chalma tava chazita, because chalma tava has chet tet and then chazita has tet. Chet tet tet. There's very big secrets in this. Why this is? Chalma tava chazita. Now, if a person has a dream and they want their dream to come true, so they should take a pen and paper and write down their dreams. Rav Nachman writes this in Sefer Hamidot, that if a person wants their dreams to come true, and this is what we learn over here from the Medrash. If a person wants his dreams to come true, they should write them down. And that's what Yaakov Avinu did here. When Yosef told him his dream, Natal Kulmus, he took a pen, he wrote down exactly when the dream was, what hour, and what place. Because Yaakov Avinu was waiting for this dream. Yaakov Avinu knew that Yosef was everything. When these dreams came, Yaakov Avinu became very excited. Okay, Chazak Baruch.
What does it mean that Yosef is everything? And if Yosef is the great one, why is Yehuda the king? Who was it, Yehuda or Yosef?
There's a lot to learn. The Shvatim is a lot. Moshe is Torah, and Yehuda is Malchus, and Yosef is Yosef, and Reuven is... Yeah, it's deep.
What I mean is, what role does Yosef play? We're saying he had dreams that everyone's
So
bowing down to him. He's the king.
I'll give you the final answer, even though you may not understand it now, but think about it. Is that if we look at the development of mankind in the world, who is man? Am Yisrael. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, right? So Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov started the Tzuras Adam in the world. Avram started connecting to the Merkava of Midas HaChesed of Hashem, and he became a Merkava to that. Yitzchak became the Merkava to Midas HaGvura. Yaakov became the Merkava to Midat HaTiferet. And Yosef became a Merkava to what's called the Midah of Yesod. Yesod is the Midah of the Bris Kodesh. The same thing inside of you. The Midah of Yesod inside of you is the Midah that could take all the totality of what you are and bring it into one point, and from there it goes into the Malchut. So Yosef is the Midah of Yesod. That means in the development of our nation, what Avram Avinu did was the beginning. He was developing the whole beginning of attitude of the Creator to the world, the love that the Creator had to His creation. Yitzchak Avinu would continue the development with the pachad, with the din, advertising with the judgment that there's a Creator. Yesh din ve'yesh dayan. When Avram Avinu was Rebbe, there was 4 doors open to all directions. When Yitzchak Avinu became Rebbe, he took a hammer and nails, he closed all the doors. And he sat room inside room with tremendous fear, tremendous yirat shamayim. The whole world knew Yesh din ve'yesh dayan. He did tremendous care of Yitzchak, in Yitzchak way. And Yaakov Avinu was his midah of emes, midah of tiferes. He's he brings Yaakov Avinu gives birth to the concept called Torah, so to speak, which is chesed and gevura, mitzvot aseh, mitzvot lo taseh. And at this point, once you have three, this chesed gvura tiferes, you have a nation. The nation stands. But in order for this nation to continue, you need the midah of Yesod. The midah of Yesod, this tzaddik that there was mevarer. The midah of Yesod was this tzaddik of Yosef, and he did a work of midah. Meaning that by the shvatim, you don't find that every private shevet did one midah. They're all parts of Yaakov Avinu, but Yosef is called the Av. That's why Yosef has two shvatim, Menashe and Ephraim. Yosef himself is not a shevet only; he's also a father. Understand? We see that even in the Pshat, he has Menashe and Ephraim. Menashe and Ephraim are two shvatim. Which other shevet had shvatim? So it's deep. To understand deeper, it's important to learn the life of the Avos very much, and then learning through Kabbalah and Chassidus, you start getting a different picture of all these things, and understanding every tzaddik, where they were in the development of our nation, like why they were essential and what they did to develop, to make the Merkava of Hashem. Because in Am Yisrael, we are the Merkava, we are the chariot, the embodiment of the Creator in the world, the Shechina, the personifying, the making. The Am Yisrael is called Evarim of the Shechina, Evarim of the Shechina, limbs of the Shechina. That means the presence of Hashem. Where does it rest in the world? In the Yid, in you, in every Yid. And every Yid has a specific role in how godliness is revealed through their specific who they are. Like you're Moshe, like Moshe has the Moshe godliness. With the others, we see exactly. The Yaakov did Yaakov avodah, and Avram did Avram. Yitzchak, Yosef did Yosef. Yosef Atzad. He did work that no one could do. and by doing that, he assured that this is a part of the building of what our nation is. A nation that has Yesod, a nation that has control, a nation that has Dvikut in Hashem. Yishchut, Yosef Atzad. These are things that became, in our DNA. A person's DNA. You take a person that goes to travel, right? Look at us today. You all look different. Why do you look dark and you look white? Because we all come from one family. Just your Gullahs went to Russia, and your Gullahs went to Yemen, and your Gullahs went to Morocco. So what happens? The DNA, the patterns, they just change. You're in a place for 3-4 generations, your DNA is going to start changing. Right? If you're dealing with jealousy or anger or greed, whatever it is, and your son is and your grandson is, then your great grandson is going to be dealing with this. Like it's genetically. If you control yourself very, very much, and your son controls himself, and your grandson controls himself, your great grandson will already be born with his DNA. His back patterns will be different. Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov changed the DNA forever. That means Am Yisrael has forever qualities in our DNA that we are Baishanim, Rachmanim, Gavim, Chasadim. We have a natural shame, we have a natural chesed, it's natural, it's Yerushalayim. It's an inheritance because of the DNA of our fathers. Yosef HaTzadik is in the same level. It means we have inside of our DNA to be a Yid, to have this control, to have this bris, to have this absolute dveikus in Hashem, no matter what you see in the world. B'diuk. But the whole shevet, since the whole Am Yisrael is called Bnei Rachel, Bnei Yosef, this is the quality that became a part of the whole nation. Chazak u'barur.